Trustee Krusek,
Present.
trustee Page,
Present.
trustee Martinez,
Present.
trustee Blair,
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present.
Quorum established.
Thank you very much. If you would please join us in a moment of silence as we dedicate our meeting this evening to the honor and memory of Val Sverton and James Henry. We are terribly saddened for the loss, and our hearts and deepest sympathies are with the Sverton and Henry families, their friends and neighbors. And now if you would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And this evening, we would ask all of our guests that are here this evening, all the family members of all of our wonderful colleagues here at the Village that are receiving recognition, as well as our proclamation this evening. So we would ask that you join in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Should stand one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. So it is our pleasure this evening to have several special recognition items on our agenda. And the first is a proclamation, and I would ask our Woodridge resident, Brent Frank, please, to join me up at the podium. And I'm going to ask Trustee Krusek to read the proclamation for us.
Whereas Brent Frank, a longtime Woodridge neighbor, served the Lisle Woodridge Fire Protection District Board with distinction for 13 years, with 12 of them as president. And whereas during his leadership, the district achieved agency accreditation and maintained a Class 1 ISO rating representing an exemplary fire suppression program. And whereas under Brent's guidance, the district successfully approved a functional cooperation IGA with Darien Woodridge Fire District. He assured district financial stability during his tenure. And whereas Brent is an active member of the DUCOM Board of Directors, the DUCOM Executive Committee, the Northern Illinois Alliance of Fire Protection Districts, and the Illinois Association of Fire Protection Districts. And whereas Brent's outstanding leadership to the fire district and the community of Woodridge are exemplary and significant, we thank Brent and acknowledge the profound impact he has made on our community. And whereas the achievements, accomplishments, and successful projects during Brent's tenure with the Lisle Woodridge Fire Protection District Board continue to make a positive difference in the lives of the Woodridge community. Now, therefore, Gina Cunningham, proud mayor of the Village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook Counties, Illinois, by virtue of her office, does hereby declare and proclaim the weekend of Saturday, July 20, 2024 through Sunday, July 21st, 2024 as Brent Frank Weekend in the Village of Woodridge, and urge all citizens of Woodridge to recognize him for his strength of character, his selfless service, and his unwavering passion and dedication for improving the safety and quality of life for all of Woodridge.
Thank you very much, Trustee Krusek. And Brent, on behalf of all of us, your distinguished service and leadership in our community goes far-reaching, many communities and thousands of people. If you think about all your work and dedication and leadership has contributed significantly. So this is in honor of you and your tenure, but also going above and beyond all the time. And anyone who knows you always give it your best and then some. So this is in recognition of all of that. It's nice to have a weekend. I hope you celebrate here in Woodridge at every restaurant around or any fun thing that you like to do. But I would like to invite Chief Creston up for just a moment if you would share a few words, because I know they also recognized you, but we wanted to make sure that your neighbors here in Woodridge and all of us had the chance to say thank you publicly. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to say a few words.
Excuse me, do you have a time limit? 'Cause, you know.
Yeah, I do. I like to talk. Yeah, I do. But really, all I really want to say is on behalf of the Lisle Woodridge Fire District, we want to say thank you. President Frank is a resident of Woodridge, and he did exactly what a resident of Woodridge should do. He got involved and he made the district better. And we need more Brent Franks. And I want to personally thank him for everything that he's done for the fire district, because what we say in the fire service is make the place better for the next person. And Brent Frank made the place better for the next person. So we're thankful for his service, and we're going to have a great weekend because it's Brent Frank weekend. So congratulations, Brent. Thank you again.
I want to recognize your wife. So again, yes, it's with very full hearts that we say thank you. We also would like to recognize your wife, Mary Ann, who is here with us.
Trustee.
Former village trustee. I met her when I first ran way back when. So Mary Ann was already serving here on the village board. So it's a family of giving. And would you like to say a few words?
Sure, I just like
Absolutely.
to thank you. First, a Brent Frank weekend. I mean, that's crazy. Do I start, I like to eat, so maybe Trustee Kagan can take tomorrow night's dinner and Trustee Krusek breakfast. I don't, maybe we just put it out on the internet and people can.
We can meet
I
you
don't know.
anywhere.
There we go. Well, I was going to come to your house.
Oh,
so,
okay.
you know,
Well, sure.
It's the
come on
weekend,
over.
right?
Yes, yeah.
But no, thank you very much. It's been
Absolutely.
just an honor and a privilege to serve the district, the Lyle Woodridge and the Lyle Woodridge Fire Protection District. We've accomplished a lot. It is one of less than a dozen in the nation ISO 1 and accredited fire protection districts. And it's just been really fulfilling to see what the district's been able to do. And it's rewarding to serve the citizens of Woodridge and Lyle through that. We've learned a lot and contributed a lot. And it was not just me. I do want to thank my wife of 36 years for giving us the time to attend meetings and other events. But my other board members, the chief, and we had a great cooperation with the village also. At any time, I would pick up the phone and call you or any of the trustees, and they were just very friendly and willing to talk about any issue that we had. So thank you very much, and this is very special and unexpected.
Congratulations.
So thank you.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Distinguished service all the way around.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Our
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Dan. So Al, are you going to join? Okay, I'll step to the side, but Al is going to come up, and we do have a wonderful 20-year service anniversary with our Director of Public Works, Chris Bethel. So Chris, we'll have you come up, and Al.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Bethel. Board of Trustees, good evening. Don't look, Chris. Hang on. Do this. There we go. All right. Mayor and Board, good evening. Thank you, and it's my pleasure to introduce Chris Bethel and to recognize his 20-year anniversary with the village. Chris, he started here way back in July 2004, if I'm doing my math right, 20 years. Hired in Woodridge as the Assistant Director of Public Works and clearly and obviously provided exceptional service and great performance, and was subsequently promoted to Director, which he is today. Prior to Woodridge, he served the village of Winfield with distinction as the Assistant Village Manager, Director of Public Works, several other capacities as well, and then also a period of time as their acting village manager as well. Village of Niles, where he cut his teeth on the municipal work, as I understand it, as an intern there back in, was it 1996? It was a good year. It was a good year. His hometown, he hails from Geneseo, Illinois, which is in the far western part of our state near the Iowa border. And Chris and I always have a good time debating who had the more who grew up in a thriving metropolis that was, greater, Peatone, where I'm from, or Geneseo. And he always won because they actually had one traffic signal, I believe, right? We did not have a traffic signal in Peatone, so he always had one up to me on that. His education background, Northern Illinois University, his bachelor's, and then he subsequently got his master's of public administration. And I will tell you that it is one of the top 5 public administration master's programs in the entire nation. You don't just walk in and walk out of NIU's master's program. The only program that's ahead of it is DePaul in Chicago. No, I'm joking. That's where I went. That's always the other second piece of banter Chris and I always have, but NIU does top it, I have to admit. Responsibilities, Chris has numerous responsibilities as Director of Public Works. It is an operations that runs the gamut and really is the meat and potatoes, rubber meets the road in the village of Woodridge and many municipalities for that matter. I want to share a couple slides here as we move forward and talk a little bit more about Chris's responsibilities. However, I brought this up at his 15-year anniversary, and I had to bring it back. And Dana, I hope it's okay that I brought this picture back. But it just exemplifies Chris in the early 90s, right? And you could probably ask my wife. I've got a mullet one from the early 90s as well that we can share sometime. But this is another example of Chris back in the day. He's a very much an aficionado of heavy metal music as well. And so if he can probably debate which is the best Metallica song with you. Chris has also been very service-minded to the community and to giving back to the community in so many different ways, and one of which is a very proud accomplishment. Him and his daughter, specifically Delaney, who's here this evening, has spent years with the Polar Plunge that many of our police officers have participated in over the years, and have just been exceedingly successful, and repeatedly were always one of the top clubs that raise the most money in our state. This is rather awkward, though. This also has the Polar Plunge, and I will only admit that maybe our Chief Stephenson, who is awkwardly also in this photo, may have provided this, Chris. I can't speak to it, but they're and having some fun. And of course, Chris is joined here this evening by his wife, Dana, his daughter, Delaney, and his son, Colin. In the background, and a lovely family photo here for you to enjoy. Chris's responsibilities, I'll just highlight them: maintenance of our roadway network, traffic signals, street lights, parkway trees, emergency response and disaster preparedness, snow and ice control, our water system on the potable side, our sanitary sewer, our storm sewers, facilities and grounds, our buildings, our parkways, annual capital improvement program, which is multi-million dollar, and his entirety of our infrastructure, both below ground and above ground. He's in charge of our village engineering services as well, and his knowledge of our village engineering principles are very impressive, and continue to help us with our decision-making as a village. And he is also, one of the highlights in his career is he's overseen our award-winning mosquito abatement program as well, right, Chris? Yes, I know, it's one of his famous, that's a joke. Stats: 100 center lane miles of roads, 140 miles of sidewalk, 140 miles of water main. Folks like Dave Zalad and Eric Sally back there all help, along with our entire team, of maintaining the infrastructure that Chris so aptly oversees. Work highlights include, as I say, multi-million dollar capital improvement program. He was key member of the facilities construction project team that just built the new police department and the public works storage facilities, and is now turning his attention to the space needs study for the new public works facility, which we're very, very excited about. Chris has single-handedly been responsible for securing millions of dollars in state and federal grants for the village, and painstakingly goes through the painstaking application to secure those funds. And he puts together really what are just great presentations for us each year, and each year puts us in a very, very solid position as a municipality to persuade our legislators to grant dollars to the village, and we do so darn near annually, thanks to Chris. The June 2021 tornado, and in partnership with our police department, Public Works was boots on the ground and key to that emergency response. And Chris and his team were amazing in it, and were exemplary. And as part of that, we had, as you recall, a cavalry of municipalities responding to help us with that emergency response on the public works side in particular. And Chris has been a leader in that mutual aid network that has been established, put together, and he's been kind of doing the circuit from time to time and promoting the benefits to other municipalities and explaining how it too can benefit them. COVID response initiatives, I won't get into that. Community engagement, Chris is also takes the time and effort to engage with our community on so many different levels. And with our school children in District 68, he will oftentimes be a guest reader, oftentimes a career day guest speaker to explain what a public works director does, and to try to cajole them into the career, and local government in general. Professional highlights: he's an intergovernmental leader in public works. He's really one of the best in the business in our region, bar none. He spends a lot of time on the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, serving on the Transportation Technical Committee, also as the chair of the Public Works Committee for many, many years. He's a prior executive board member for the Julie, the Call 811 Before You Dig organization as well. American Public Works Association, American Waterworks Association, membership, longtime member, and is also a key contributor on the Salt Creek Watershed Network, which people might not know about, but is responsible for promoting the improvement of water quality throughout our region and essentially restoring balance to the environment. And Chris actively contributes to that organization. Characteristics for Chris, excuse me, strong work ethic, highly organized, a mind like a vault. I think I mentioned maybe in a prior presentation, I always joke with Chris that he's our resident archivist historian, and I swore he had a membership to Library of Congress. And sure enough, he showed proof that he actually does have a Library of Congress membership card. I kid you not. And so, but he truly is. When you talk about carrying on institutional knowledge with an organization, Chris helps us all around this room in many different facets. A high-touch customer service. I could send an email or a voicemail to Chris on a resident concern or board member or a request or issue in the community. Chris is out there almost as soon as after I send on the email. He's already there. He's already taken pictures. He's reviewed it. Maybe even talked to the resident who's out there. And it's just a tremendously conscientious about responsiveness, timeliness, and thoroughness to our community. Highly ethical, is an invaluable advisor to our senior management team, to the mayor and board of trustees as well, and very Woodridge proud. He bleeds Woodridge and always promotes us throughout the region as one of the finest communities in the region from our vantage point. As I mentioned, family joining us here, his wonderful wife, Dana Delaney, who's going to be a senior at Carthage College in Kenosha. Great town. My wife's from Kenosha. And then Colin, who's entering Augustana College and will compete as a student athlete, I believe, on the men's swim team. So congratulations to you all, and we're proud of you. But Chris, it is my distinguished pleasure here to award you the 20-year service anniversary, to thank you for your service. And I'm going to allow you now to say a few words.
I do really want to start just by thanking my family. There's so many things I've missed or been late for. When I say I'm coming home, my wife adds an hour to it because she knows I will not be there. And there's just a lot of things. I think it's the nature of local government for all the employees for the village that you miss things that are personal and dear to you, trying to serve the community. Dana, as Administrator Stonis had mentioned, she's a special ed teacher. So that tells you she has an extra level of patience built in to put up with me, and actually celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary coming up as well. So that's a lot of patience she's used over the years. Administrator Stonis had mentioned Delaney. Many of you have known her since she was just a little kid. She actually, working with Chief Stephenson, and had raised over $45,000 for Special Olympics during her time helping. So really just some amazing philanthropy there. Going to be a teacher as well. Colin's going to be studying engineering, going into local government and public works is his goal. So very blessed there and lucky that they've supported me over the years. I also really want to thank the mayor and board, Administrator Stonish, all the staff, really all the support that's been given to me, to the entire department, and all the individual staff, and some of them you're gonna meet here in a little bit. Really my passion and interest, it's public works. It's trying to fix things. I think that drives my family crazy sometimes. If there's a problem, I try to fix it immediately. But really what we're trying to do is make the community better right now, and really to put plans in place to make that sustainable, to have really a solid infrastructure and backbone for the community, going into the future. So I really appreciate the trust that you all have put in me and in the department in order to give us the resources and support to implement those plans for the future. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I will keep it brief, but I must add just a couple words. Al, you did a tremendous job in relaying what we all know about Chris. And on behalf of all of us, I think just a few things. One, your attention to detail is bar none. I don't think that goes without saying about how prepared you always are. So on behalf of all of us, we thank you. We wish you a very happy 20th anniversary. And hopefully for 60 years more or something like that, at least, right? This is a little congratulations from all of us, and our deepest really appreciation for always going above and beyond in every situation. And Al really did cover everything beautifully. We could not be more proud of your exemplary service to our neighbors, our community, our colleagues, and being just a wonderful person that we get to work with every day. So we appreciate it. So we celebrate this with you and your family. And we're so proud that everyone is here tonight. Thank you for being here. And you and I have more work to do, but first of all, congratulations on your 20th anniversary. Thank you so much. And let's keep going, right? We've got a couple acknowledgements, and are you ready to go? or-
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely. Maybe if we could bring them both down.
That would be
together.
wonderful. So this evening, we do have two colleagues that are receiving promotions in the Public Works Department. And Chris, nope, you're right here. I'll let you go ahead, Chris.
Sure. Maybe Dave and Eric, if you can both come down. Sure. And again, Administrator Stonish had so many nice things to say about me, but the reality is I'm not the one doing that. And most of the time, it's not even my ideas. It's people like Eric and Dave, who I'm going to talk about a little bit, that are the ones that are really leading and doing that boots on the ground work and helping to implement everything that the mayor and board want to do for the community. So I know, as you know, we've been going through a number of personnel changes in the department. We've got an impending retirement. So we always try to strategically plan and look forward and succession plan. So that way it's a smooth transition. We can continue to serve the community in the appropriate manner. And really the results of those efforts in the past and what we're going to talk about now is really some superior internal candidates that really have this interest and track record. They've stepped into supervisory positions, they've grown and continued to serve the community in these new capacities. So I wanted them to come up together because there's really kind of a unique story here, is that we actually hired the two of them at almost the same time in 2007 when they first came to the village. So first I'm going to talk to you about water foreman Dave Zalad. And so he's going to be succeeding Ben Santor in 2025 when Ben retires as our superintendent. What's really great is Ben, again, being very thoughtful, being very Woodridge proud. He gave us that advance notice, which gives us that benefit of being able to thoughtfully plan for the future, promote people, cross-train, and again, have them step into the role. So Ben, when he retires, is going to have been with the village for over 30 years. Ben actually replaced Tony Fowler, our prior superintendent, who had been with us for over 40 years. And so what I guess I'm trying to get at is that kind of tenure and succession is so important, just based on kind of the criticality of the superintendent position in the village. So Dave hasn't quite hit a 40-year milestone, but he's been with the village since 2007, but he grew up in the community as well. So if you look at his time living here, growing up here, he's actually hit 29 years of kind of quote unquote service to Woodridge. So Dave actually first came to the village. He had some experience in construction and again, was one of those people who started out as an auxiliary snowplow driver for us. And so he kind of had that background. We got to know him a little bit. We thought he was going to be a good fit. And so he spent a couple of years in the sanitary and storm crew and then in the water crew. Dave had his goals. He was motivated. He put in the effort. He became a licensed Class C water plant operator, became a licensed arborist. Again, he had a goal of becoming a supervisor, so we went back to school and got his associate's degree in applied science management. Again, another theme we're going to talk about here is kind of how they were recognized and felt among their peers. 2009, Dave was nominated by his peers and recognized as the Department Employee of the Year. And then ultimately being promoted and with huge support from the staff in the department to water foreman in 2015. We literally, and I can say factually, we had other towns that tried to steal Dave away, and Dave remained committed. He really saw Woodridge, having grown up here, as the place he wanted to stay and develop and continue his career. His day-to-day responsibilities as a water foreman have been impressive. Again, he oversees not just water, but also our lift stations. And so that includes what we have as well as what we might have. Dave gets involved with new development review, as well as doing the day-to-day maintenance, planning for future capital improvements. All the foremen and Dave included, they help to oversee our snow and ice operations, as well as ongoing excavation and repairs with infrastructure. I'm going to name off some projects that are really recent and they're really big dollars that Dave was really the key person in helping lead us to. He helped design and lead on the 75th Street water main replacement project, about $2.5 million. The Many-Wall lift station rehab, which was $800,000. The standpipe variable frequency drive pumps and motors, which is another $250,000. He's helping lead the current water meter replacement program, which is over $3 million. Really, and those are just kind of the current ones. They've been going on throughout his time in the position. Dave was also one of our lead supervisors, helping to respond to just the initial response, as well as the cleanup, as well as kind of the recovery from the Father's Day tornado as well. So all this dedication and experience really, again, tied to Dave's goal. He wanted to be the superintendent. I want to tie all this together and go back to 2007. So we were in Dave's interview and Tony Fowler, our old superintendent, was in there. We were evaluating the candidates, and I really distinctly remember Tony saying, I think Dave is going to be a very special employee for the village. And so now that he's actually succeeding into the superintendent position, I think, again, it's one of those stories you can't necessarily write, and it kind of works out. And that Dave is, again, going to continue to be an amazing employee and have an even larger impact on the community going forward. So Dave's wife, Jackie, is with us tonight as well in the back. So I'm going to kind of immediately jump to Eric here, just because they are linked. Dave was promoted. It's going to be opening up a position in water foreman. And so we have 5 foremen. Those foremen are the kind of the leaders in the field overseeing all of our different operational areas. They're really critical in how the department functions, both out in the field and administratively planning for those annual programs, responding to infrastructure problems, including one we have right now out in the field that, again, we have another foreman that's taking care of that, and that kind of emergency response. They work on a daily basis to kind of prioritize, to share resources, as well as at night, on the weekends, in the worst of weather, summer, winter, at night. They're the ones who are here leading us after hours. To be a foreman, to do what Dave does and what Eric is going to do, you have to be able to multitask and prioritize. You have to understand complex regulations and requirements and have excellent communication skills and to think and work strategically. Eric Sally checks those boxes and every box we could come up with, during that interview process. We also hired Eric in 2007. We were lucky. We took him from the Lisle Park District. He came to the village. He already had his CDL. He had a background in tree care, snow plowing. He was already a heavy equipment operator and actually a certified EMT from what I recall. So when we first hired Eric, he was actually in the water crew to start out and working on the water distribution system, meter changeouts, valve and hydrant exercising, valve and hydrant repair, excavations, repairing water mains, and again, further develop those heavy equipment operator skills, with the loader and the backhoe. And this is the great thing about kind of the way we function, and we move people into different areas to give them experience so they can move up. So Eric then moved into the storm and sanitary crew, spending a number of years there, and then going into the traffic crew, where became skilled in working with electricity as well as streetlight poles and repairs and replacements. And then we moved him in, and he really has been our lead maintenance worker for a number of years now as it relates to all things traffic control, and really is an expert. And when we talk about like Administrator Stonish had mentioned, kind of a strong memory. Eric is our vault when it comes to the Federal Highway Administration manual and uniform traffic control devices. And so when we start to think about kind of the group as a whole, Ben has always been our expert on traffic control, whether it's capital projects, repair projects, special events. Ben has always been that lead. And it's something we needed to retain in the supervisory group. And Eric's background, again, is something that I can say with confidence that he is going to provide that leadership going forward. I think another parallel, like I'd mentioned, between these two, Eric was recognized as the Department Employee of the Year in 2013. He was nominated for that recognition, again, from his peers based on his positive attitude, dedication, and the effort that he puts forth. And again, while he has not been a formal supervisor, really has been an informal leader amongst the staff, helping to teach and train them. It's something when his name was announced that was who we were selecting for the position, a very, very loud round of applause from the maintenance workers that, again, I think shows that they feel like Eric is really going to be a good selection for this role. Again, Eric, he bleeds Woodridge, consistent dedication, pretty much over his entire career. He's one of those guys we could call and he would always show up. Again, kind of sacrificing that time with his family when the village had had needed him. So again, very amazing kind of story. They both started here at the same time. They're both being promoted at the same time, and really something I think the residents and businesses are all going to really benefit from their leadership and support going forward. Eric's wife, Cynthia, as well as his kids, Ella and Jonathan, are with him tonight as well. So a little bit about the both of them and some good things that are happening in the supervisory ranks with Public Works.
Thank you very much, Director Bethel. As we celebrate you, we're now going to celebrate and congratulate Dave and Eric. Your outstanding service for all these years, incredible. I remember when I think both of you started way back when, and we were all a lot younger then, but I knew special. You always, from day one, dedicated and determined and have made sacrifices in your life, but I think you have also made a huge impact in Woodridge and in Public Works. So it is an honor to be here tonight, all of us here celebrating your promotions. We're very excited for you and your families. We're so happy that they're here tonight joining us. You know, it is really an honor and proud to be here to recognize you both, both being promoted tonight. So on behalf of all of us, we thank you for your excellence in serving our community and helping us to meet the needs of our neighbors in very critical times in our community. So congratulations to you both on these wonderful promotions. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on now to comments from the public. This would be first comments that are not related to our agenda this evening. We will pause to acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to the meeting that do not relate to tonight's agenda. And if so, we would enter those into the public record. Administrator Stonich?
Thank you, Mayor. We have not received any.
Thank you. Going to ask if there's anyone in our audience this evening that would like to address the village board with items that are not related to our agenda this evening. If so, we would invite you to the podium. Okay, seeing no one, we will go ahead and move on to comments that are related to the agenda. So we'll now pause again and acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to the meeting tonight and that do appear on tonight's agenda. And if so, we would enter those into the public record. Administrator Stonich?
Mayor, we have not received any.
Okay, thank you very much. Now going to open it up to our audience here this evening. Anyone who would like to address the village board and would like to make a comment that is related to an item that does appear on tonight's agenda, we would invite you to the podium if you would like to. Okay, seeing no one, we will go ahead and move on. Thank you all very much for being here again this evening. Okay. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. So the next two agenda items that are going to be related here are proposed creation of a special service area for Pulte's River Edge Development. Administrator Stonich?
Thank you, Mayor. As we stated, there are two proposed special service areas. This is the public hearing for both special service area number 10 and special service area number 11. This agenda item is a public hearing of the mayor and board of trustees of the village of Woodridge convened for the purpose of considering the establishment of a special service area number 10 of the village of Woodridge and 11. The area for the establishment of special service area number 10 and 11 is generally described as follows: a 41.35 acre parcel located at the southwest corner of Route 53 and Summerhill Drive, approximately 230 feet setback from the Route 53 right-of-way, referred to as the River's Edge residential property. Notice of the public hearing on this matter to be considered was published in the Daily Herald on July 3rd. A copy of the certificate of publication shall be made as part of this hearing record as Village Exhibit A. Let the record reflect that all other notices required by law have been given. The purpose of the establishment of special service area number 10 is to provide special municipal services to this area, namely to pay the costs of maintenance of storm sewers, drainage ways, retention and detention facilities, wetlands, and other components of drainage which exist on private property, roadway maintenance, including the reconstruction and repair of the roadway, curbs, sidewalks, street lighting, retaining walls, and related landscaping, maintenance of water lines and sanitary lines, and all administrative, legal, and other costs or expenses incurred in connection herewith. At this time, Mayor will now give the members of the audience the opportunity to ask any questions of the village staff or provide statements for or against the requested approvals.
Gonna formally open,
Yes, go ahead.
yes. Mayor, so you want to formally open the public hearing?
So yes,
for
so
that
at this time, we will formally open our public hearing.
And again, that is for, want to do them separate, Al? Okay, so for SSA 10 at the River's Edge subdivision by Pulte. So if anybody wants to speak, they can. They'd be sworn and make a statement relating to this. Apparently no takers. Mayor, do you want to close the public hearing?
Yes, I would like to close the public hearing, please, at this time, if there's no discussion. Okay.
Then we will, Mayor, then you can open the public hearing for Special Service Area number 11. That's also at the River's Edge subdivision by
The
Pulte.
second item, that would be public hearing SSA number 11, Rivers Edge subdivision, Pulte. Opening the public hearing for that. Yeah, any discussion?
There appear to be no takers to speak at this one either. So Mayor, if you
We'll
would
go
like
ahead
to
and
close the public hearing.
Yes, we are closing the public hearing on the second item, public hearing SSA number 11 for Rivers Edge subdivision by Pulte. Thank you very much. We will now move to the omnibus agenda for this evening. Going to ask for a motion, please, to approve item A. A motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you. Trustee Krusek, a second. Second. Thank you, Trustee Blair. Any need for, well, there's only one item, so I guess there's no need for any. We will go ahead and move right on. Administrator Stonich, will you please review item A, please?
Thank you, Mayor. It's board minutes of the executive session of the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Woodridge held on June 20th, 2024.
Going to ask our clerk to please call the roll. Whoops, didn't get it.
Blair?
Aye.
Trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Under the mayor's report this evening, I'm going to ask everyone to please stay connected to the Village of Woodridge. Sign up for e-news. We would love to have you connected to us. Stay informed. It's very easy to do. If we can help you in any way, that's the best way we can get information in your hands, and we want you to have all the information possible. So please consider staying in touch and staying informed right through our social media channels as well as our e-news. Administrator Stonich, your report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Item A, Resolution 2024-44, resolution awarding an extension of the janitorial services contract bid number 2017-04 to Unimax Management Corporation.
Going to ask for a motion, please, to approve Resolution 2024-44, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Page. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Antalise, for the second. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Blair.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B, Resolution 2024-45, a resolution awarding bid number 2024-02, sanitary sewer televising and cleaning contract. This will be awarded to Hydrovision Technology LLC out of Romeoville, Illinois, for the sanitary sewer basin C in the village in the amount of $82,721.57.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-45, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. And a second? Second. Thank you, Trustee Antalise. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Krusek,
Aye.
trustee Page, trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Blair,
Aye.
trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item C, ordinance 2024-41, an ordinance establishing special service area number 10 of the Village of Woodridge to Page, Will, and Cook County, Illinois, and the imposition and levy of a tax at a rate equal to the rate or amount of tax sufficient to produce revenues required to provide the special services in and for such area.
If I could please have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-41, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Page. And a second? Second. Thank you, Trustee Blair. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek,
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Last item D, ordinance 2024-42, an ordinance establishing special service area number 11 of the Village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook County, Illinois, and the imposition and levy of a tax at a rate equal to the rate or amount of tax sufficient to produce revenues required to provide the special services in and for such area.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-42, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Blair. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Krusek. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone, very much. With no further business to discuss, we do have the need, though, to reconvene our earlier study session meeting immediately following our adjournment here this evening. In addition, at the conclusion of tonight's upcoming study session, we also have the need to convene an executive session and review and discuss the following subject matter, which would be imminent, probable, or possible litigation. Now, may I please have a motion to adjourn our regular meeting of the Village Board?
So moved.
And a second, please.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It is 7:43 and we are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening.